1 2 1 2. What's happening, everybody? I am Oyi's son, your hostess with the hostess. I'm live here in Bali. This is some international player type stuff going on tonight, and we really want to welcome you to the first episode and the rebirth of my podcast of really just manifesting a new life. You know, I've been real spiritual for a long time, but recently I've realized that more non-spiritual people need my help than the spiritual people who is already saturated with other spiritual coaches. And tonight I have a very special guest, boy, and he's a live wire. He's a spiritual gangster too. That's not normally how he advertises, but I'm going to just let that be known from tonight. I want to introduce you to everyone. Put your hands together to my man Oluwa Adams. Yay!
Wow, you're good, man. I like this. Presenting drum roll. I love it. I love it. I like the energy, man.
Because we want to let people know that we're not just stuffed shirt shamans and PhD holders and talk like this all the time. Like, we're approachable. You can see me at the grocery store and you can walk up on me. You can be eating some watermelon and offer me some watermelon. I'm gonna take it. You feel me?
Yes. Of course, it's real. This is a real life, real life. I used to be in that world of the intellectuals, when I was a professor or doing the PhD, the whole thing. And I just saw through it. I used to look up to the whole thing. Honestly, I used to be like, look at these PhDs, look at these intellectuals, look at these professors. I was surprised to see that many of them, most of them, had no interest in truth. I was surprised. I said, so what what are they here? I'm like, if anything is not in the pursuit of truth, then what is the point of it? I'm not saying one gets it, but at least the intention has to be there. And if you're a professor, I mean, this woman doing the PhD, she actually yelled at me. She was angry. Why are you always talking about truth for? Why are you always talking about truth? Why you care about truth? I couldn't say anything. I was shocked. I was like, this is a PhD program? What? I was so naive. I mean, I was obviously naive about it. So now, many of them, they're there for the prestige because they like the name. That's what I noticed, the name. In the name. Unfortunately, most people who are really the seekers, the knowers of truth, who are interested, are not in the universities. I've noticed. Rarely ever. I mean,
Right. Now,
yeah, rarely ever. I mean,
right.
look at you. I was just going to say that. I didn't want to put you on blast. I'm like, look at my brother here. You are so committed to this, but I mean, you've never been a professor. So people might look at you and say, what does he know? Because you don't have that PhD. But they're being silly. Because what I've realized is the PhD doesn't mean anything. I've met people who are way smarter and wiser than the PhD holders. And I can say that because I used to be a professor. So you can't say that I'm just jealous. I'm speaking as an insider that I've seen it over and over again. Like, it doesn't mean anything, So people are just very good at reading books and they can memorize it and they get PhDs on top of it. It doesn't mean anything. They're diligent. That's all. I give them that diligence, but
Can
doesn't
you?
mean they're. It, huh?
No. Go ahead.
So anyway, I don't want to. I mean, speak as if I'm against intellectuals or this or that because we're not. I mean, you and I, we're not. Are we just saying that? What we address, I mean, what I'm addressing now is that truth and the power that we are born with. We are born with all these things, but when we give our power away, maybe like in a university, you go pay like $20,000 thinking that they're going to give it to you. No, they're not going to give it to you. It takes courage and dedication to discover one's own inner. Otherwise, everybody will have it. Life wants us, I mean, there's a price for everything. And life is telling us all that if you want to know your gifts and powers, you have to look for it. How are you really interested in this? Do you really want to live that life? Or you just want to be like everyone else? So for me, I don't try to like get everybody to this conversation. It's only for those who are ready on the journey for self-discovery and empowerment and discover your gifts. Life is short, you know. People. I mean, it is said that when people are dying, often they get very miserable because they feel like they haven't lived their life because we keep postponing. We humans, we postpone, but it's time to discover the gift and start expressing and operating. Maybe initially imperfectly, but it doesn't matter to the universe. What universe wants us to do is get on that journey. As long as we're on that journey, universe is happy. As long as we are on that journey, as long as we're not avoiding, we are discovering. Universe is like, yes, take your time. Universe is never in a rush. It's eternal, remember? It's so it's up to us to say, you know what, I'm ready. I'm ready to know myself. I'm ready to be empowered. I'm ready to express my gifts. If you're one of those, then don't miss this conversation between me and my beautiful brother here, sage brother here.
I was going to ask you this question. Can you imagine them letting me teach at a university? What would happen? Just in your opinion, because you've been on the inside. What would happen? And you just met me not too long ago, but what do you think would happen if they were to let me have like 2 semesters or even give me tenure? What do you think could happen if that was to happen?
First of all, the university system is a political club. It's a club, really. Often the ones who become the leaders there are not really the intellectuals. They are the ones that are more political. The politicians, I call them. And they're the ones who hold the power. And they have an agenda, what they want. Of course, they might say it's about freedom and truth, but they're lying. They don't care about that. It's the money, the grants, and they're getting funded by these organizations that don't want humans to progress. So they're dedicated to making sure that at best people, they have good memory. Maybe they might be able to think, maybe to think. But anything about deep psychology and thinking process, how to think clearly, how to be rational, all those things, they avoid it like crazy because they don't want that. They can't afford it. So you're going to be there trying to teach them creativity, how to live, and they're going to be afraid of that unless you're very fortunate to find a university where the owners or people in charge are open. But I've never seen it. And when I went for my PhD, I thought that school was going to be so open. I mean, that's how they marketed it, that we are open. In fact, they said the sentence that I loved, and I found out later was BS. They say we are going to encourage you to be an individual, to be able to discover truth and be able to express it as you are. Like really talking about how to bring out the inner scholar, the inner wisdom, whatever it is. That's what I thought, at least. Maybe I misread it. So, but when I got there, I realized that they don't want that. They just want the same old stuff. It's the same old stuff painted in a whole different paradigm so that people don't see. But once you get in there, you see it's the same building, same thing. So for you, I would say they wouldn't let you. And if you're able to get in, I would say that the students will be very fortunate, because that's what we need. One of the most transforming experiences in my life. I mean, okay, I wouldn't say one of the most, but one of the really transforming moments in my life, before I went to college, right? Just real quick, if you don't mind. Before I went to college, I was in California, and there was this day, I don't know what, universe is so wise and intelligent. And I just had the feeling to stay in that school that day. I wasn't even in that school. I wasn't going there. But somehow I just went there. I would go there. And this guy came to lecture. It was an African-American older gentleman, maybe in his 50s and 60s. And I used to, my hair was always straight. They used to call me Billy D in New York. Billy D. I had straight hair, I had a mustache. I was just silly as fuck. Just to be honest, because I use languages like this. Anyway, I went to that lecture that day, and he had all the slides, and he was talking about Black power, how the Black hair is so powerful, and with all the slides, how it's like an antenna to the universe, and if we can tune in to this and that. It was like I'd never heard someone talk about hair and Black people like that. It was so powerful, so liberating. So people like that, if they could be professors, but he was not a professor, he was just a visitor for one day. So Would be really beautiful. But most people in the universities, from what I've seen, they're just regular people who know how to study and pass exams. Most of
Oh,
them.
oh,
And
oh.
this thing that we're talking about is intelligence.
Wow, 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 wow. So you don't think I'll last? You don't think I'm gonna last too long if I get into a university? You want me just to stay out here in the streets?
I mean, anything is possible, brother. Anything is possible. I don't even know why you would want to do that in the first place, because they're going to try to control what you say. They always do. You can't say that. You can't. They are always like all up in your business. So unless, like you said, like I said, you have a university or college or school that allows that, because I'm sure they exist. I've never seen them, but I'm sure they exist. They must
Oh
exist
no.
somewhere. If you can find them, then go ahead. Yeah.
For me, it's just hypothetical because they first off can't afford me, and two, I would just want to be there to stir it up. So I mean, like, if I want to go somewhere, I want to go somewhere like MIT, Stanford, Oxford. I want to be, Georgia Tech, Princeton. I want Ivy League. I want Cambridge. I want Harvard. I don't want to do at a black school. I want them to be like, what is this? What? Yeah, like I want to come in there and do it my way. I want to come in and shake the bottom up out of that thing. You know what I mean? So,
I mean,
but
of
it
course,
it was a hypothetical question. It was really a funny hypothetical question because
of course.
like it's tough for me to be on somebody's schedule. It's tough for me to be like, you have to be here at this time and this time, and then I can't sell them a course. We be in there talking about human design and astrology and dragons and you know what I'm saying, and orgasms. They'd be like, "Excuse me, sir, what kind of class is this?" Philosophy, of course. History, of course. Archaeology, of course. What are you talking about? Oh no, 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 no. I would be a professor of cultural anthropology. That's what I want to be.
Oh,
Culture and anthropology.
wow. Cultural anthropology. I like that actually. Yeah, I'm sure that a department is already existing. It's just like the politics is what I don't know how to deal with that politics. Some people are good at it. I've never been good at it, like pretending, all this pretending, ass kissing and stuff. I don't know how to do it. I've tried in the past to learn it, but it's not, I gave it up. I couldn't do it because it's like, I just like, if I don't respect what you're saying or I don't agree, I'm gonna let you know. I don't care if you have 10 PhDs. I'm gonna keep it real with you. And I was making enemies, some of the professors, not because I didn't respect them, but I was just like, if I don't agree, I don't agree. I don't care. I don't care who it is, because truth is what I'm interested in, not what I think or what you think. I've never cared. If I'm wrong, so be it. I don't care. I want to know. I want to know.
Let
This
me let
this is what I feel like we as humans need more. This passion for truth, to be
mm,
passionate about it. We want to know it and embody it and express it. I really feel like to be a different planet if more people were to embody this passion. The desire. You can't fake it. You either have it or you don't. I can see when I see it in people, I can see it. It makes me very happy. When people have that passion, truth lights them up. I'm like, these are my people. You want to know the truth? Yes. Is it okay? I don't care if it's political truth, whether people who controls the planet, for example. It could be nothing spiritual. I like it because you want to know the truth. Who's running the show? Which families? What are they doing? Wow. I don't or business. How to make money. What is the truth about how to make money? Because most of us have been lied to that we're going to get a job and in their 50s and 60s go retire when you're tired already. Come on, what kind of life is that? And we're told this in our schools all the time. We're taught this to our children, and they aspire to this. This is not living. We're not designed like that as humans. It's okay to work for someone for a while, but we're designed to be business owners. This is the human energy. Even if it's a small business, it's yours. You run it. The age of people become apprentices back in the day in Europe and Asia. That was the way. Apprentice. Then you graduate. You start doing your own thing. But now everybody wants to get a job and they wonder why they're not respected. Well, if you're 401k, somebody can just have a crazy day and fuck up your whole 401k. It's like, I also do that on the side. People put money on 401k. I'm like, why are you putting your money in 401k? It's nonsense. It's a ripoff. Don't put it there. Take it out. But anyway, stuff like this, people who want to know the truth. Oh, man, these are my people. I just get really happy. Well, I don't care what truth it is. Any guy, just what is the truth? My biggest interest, of course, is the spiritual one. Who am I? Who are we? To me, I mean, ever since I was a baby, a child, it was always my biggest passion. Who are we? Don't you want to know? I want to know. And I began to go for it, and looking all over the place, teachers, gurus, and then I began to realize that I am who we are can never be lost, but we're looking in the wrong places. And I started laughing, and I'm still laughing now because I was looking in the wrong places.
So check this question out. So our topic tonight is harnessing dragon energy and awakening your inner power. How important is it? Because really how we even got to this conversation, I think you and I have talked to thousands of people in one-on-one consultations, keeps us busy. And a lot of people look at us and say, oh, he's a shaman, he's a master, he's a guru, he's this, he has satsangs, he has these qigong classes and tantra classes. But what they don't realize is how much data we have. We have a set of data that AI cannot tap into because the data we have is from real life human experiences from humans, right? And I myself have tried, like, oh, let's just be so spiritual, and I am on the spiritual path. I do walk a spiritual life. I also really like what money does for me. And I really like what a lot of money, how it makes me feel, right? And I really like having a lot of money so I can travel like I want, eat like I want, buy presents. I like being generous, right? Because spirituality is not greedy nor selfish. Real spirituality is being generous, right? And I want to embody these things. However, it seems like in the last 5 or 10 years that there's been such a run of people talking about enlightenment and opening up my kundalini and going to nirvana and the bliss state, and I must have multiple orgasms and I must never have an ejaculation and all these things. But you're still living an old, cruddy life with a lot of makeup on it. You just use these spiritual words to put makeup on top of the crap, right? A lot of people don't know where the word romance comes from. So I'm a historian. So who y'all looking at tonight? You got the doctor. We got 2 doctors, 2 shamans, 2 masters, and you got the historians in the building. So the word romance comes from the Romantic period founded by the French. And the French were famous for their perfumes. But what people don't know is the French were also famous for not taking baths. So they were using the perfumes, very potent perfumes, to cover up the funk. Now, I don't have a time machine, but if I had a time machine, that would be a period I would skip. Because I don't want to be around somebody funky who tried to mask it with perfume. Wash your ass, then put some perfume on, then hit you with the but don't try to use this as a substitute for soap. Perfume is not a substitute for soap. So when I teach, and I've been teaching this for over 15 years, this one principle. The word romance means to cover up the funk. It is an illusion. So when people get into relationships, no matter what type of relationships, a lot of times it's very delusional because they haven't taken care of the basics. They haven't done the journey of self-discovery. They really haven't got started. They saw what this person looked like, and was like, oh, I can get my hair up like that, or I can get my eyes to look like this. Maybe I'll try this look right here for such and such, or maybe I will even sound like this person. And then I will come out and say, since everyone else is saying, and I'm going to say the same thing, I want someone to be romantic to me. That means you don't want them to be honest. You don't want the truth. Romance and truth, not similar. And also these the French are famous for their poems. You could go and pay a poet to write you a poem, but guess what? It was a lie. These guys were seeing the girl and they would go pay this guy to write them some lyrics. And in the lyrics, it would be like, you know, I'm going to rock your world all night long and I'm going to do this and do that. And then he's a 2-minute brother. And then he gave her the claps. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it won't even satisfy him. She didn't even get to take the whole dress off. You see what I'm saying? He done, and finished. Talking about he want to go to sleep. She's sitting over there looking at the poem like, who wrote this? I thought in the poem you was being romantic. You said you was going to put my leg on the chandelier. You was going to do all that. And how do we...
2 seconds, man.
Why you laughing, man? But how do we take all of this and say, man, let's move this to the side and let's start really manifesting a new life based on truth. Then we can start moving up to spirituality. But like, let's go and like, let's get some of the basics done first. What are some of the basics that you think people should be using, like a bar of soap, on the beginning of their journey of self-discovery to awaken their inner power so they can stop letting people manipulate them and force them into doing things they don't want to do? What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, the first thing you were talking about, I love that. I mean, everything you said, you know, about that romance. I mean, if I could say a bit about that before I answer your question, hope I don't forget the question, but I like what you were saying. I wanted to say something about it. Like romance, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the poetry, right? The poetry. Like people say things that you said that, like the French, classically, was meant to cover up the stench. So when people want to be excited, that's romance. It's very excited. And nothing wrong with excitement, but it's not sustainable. In fact, it's not even healthy because it's like one is in that state for a long time, so excited. So one wants to calm down. So that energy goes up and it goes down, it goes up and goes down, it goes up and it goes down. Because it's designed like that so that it doesn't overwhelm. However, like you said, if one wants the truth of love, one has to go beyond all that romantic stuff. Because that truth of love requires honesty, at least to oneself. Maybe not to everyone, but to oneself. That's what I call perhaps one of the highest levels of quality of honesty to oneself. If one lies to oneself, that's the worst thing. I think one of the worst things in my view, lie to oneself. You can lie to other people, but not to yourself. So that level of love and truth for oneself, I really think that one begins to love. Because if I see my friend's faults or errors, to call it, I don't want to use faults, and I still love, then that means I really love. If I don't see the person, if I don't see my friend or my partner's faults, and I say I love, what kind of love is that? I'm loving what I see, but is that love going to be there when I see what I don't like? So I feel like that's part of the journey of love, but that's a different video, different topic. The journey of love, how to love. That's
we can
different. I
talk
wanted
about
to just mention that.
here. It's we always can talk about love. Love ain't never, love is everything that we talk about is built on love. You know what I'm saying? So this conversation of us sharing with
I like that.
oriented. So we can
Okay, I just
always
wanted to
talk.
like, the topic. I wanted to make sure you address the topic. That's all. That we don't start talking about love. Okay, but thank you for saying that. Yeah, of course it's love. Love is there, but because love and truth are the same, and I had to pay a big price to learn that in my life. It took me a while to learn that in this life, to be honest with you, because I used to think they were different. This is true. This is love. And I could love and not be truthful. I could do this and not be this. I could be truthful and not love. However, what I began to find in my journey is that they ultimately are one. And until they become one, embodied, once there's lots of work to do. I mean, we all have work to do, by the way, but the embodiment has to contain both. Both has to be, otherwise it's not complete, it's half. So that's truth. I don't mean always telling the truth, because people think that's what truth is, but I feel like truth is more than that. Truth really is being oneself. That's what I call being really truthful. When people think it's about telling the truth, that's only a tiny aspect of it. Many of us are dishonest because we're not being ourselves. That's the ultimate dishonesty. So that's truth. That's love. To the same degree we allow ourselves to be who we are, to the same degree, then we're going to allow someone else to be themselves. If we're not being ourselves, we don't want someone else to be themselves. You can't allow it. You won't. It's just the way we are. So to answer your question, now to come to that question about how to tap into one's, I mean, that's what I heard you ask anyway, how to tap into one's being to discover one's own natural, not just tendencies, but one's gifts. Is that what you were asking, right? How does one do it? Is that the question, more or less?
What's the first thing? Because like it's a long answer. We just want to give them one or two things. What's the first thing they should be considering in order to manifest in a new life and awakening their inner power? I know, because it sounds like you're saying that they need to be honest and be truthful first.
Well, when I say the truth, I mean to be clear what one wants. Many of us humans, we don't know what we want. Too much thinking. That's why I, to me, is a part of what I share is presence. What I teach how to clear the mind, because what we want is not in our mind. Our minds contains memories, what we've heard, experienced in this life. That's what the mind is, nothing more. That's why people who are in their mind can never be creative. The same thing they're going to keep is the same. It's the same nonsense. But if one can go beyond the mind, underneath the mental layer, into the soul, into the being, everything is already there. Why we hear, what you came to do, and your talents. It's like a package that is somewhere in the house. One has to open it. If you don't open that package and you don't discover it, then you can't blame anyone. But how does one open the package? You have to open the package and go in and find it. So one of the first things I would say is to know what one wants. Because the moment you know what you want, then everything starts unfolding from there. What do you want to create? What do you see for yourself? What lights you up? So for me, those are some of the things that one has to really be very clear about. No BS, just really, because many of us, we don't know what we want. So if most of us don't. We think we do, but we don't. What we think we want is what our parents told us, what we were told by MTV, society, social media, the politicians. We have embodied those qualities so deeply, we think it's who we are. Those are people can want to, they want to kill. They want to kill. If you ever speak against their religion, they want to kill you. Why? Because they think it's who they are. They're Christian. They become Christian or Muslim. That's a trap. That's a trap. We're not Christians or Muslims. We just are. So the moment one begins to identify with any particular path or situation, that's slavery. That's matrix. People talk about matrix all the time. They talk about getting out of the matrix. And I say the only way out of the matrix is through it. And what I mean by that is you have to empty your mind. The mind is the matrix. As long as one is in the mind, one is in the matrix. That's how the matrix functions, through the mind. And when we're in the mind, thinking all the time, we don't know our mission. because those thoughts that are coming and going, they are just signals coming through the universe. And one keeps looking at them, attached to them, just let them go. One of the key things about presence is how to let go of these thoughts. So that then, as these thoughts start living, then you start finding, one starts knowing who one is. I mean, what is left? When all the garbage is gone, what is left? The self, the truth. When all the bullshit is out, what is left? And what is the truth is the who I am, who you are, your very nature, my nature, the way universe has created me is always unique. And I will never get tired of telling people that it takes work because there's no one like you. You're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to be maybe guided. I mean, assist to guide, but it's not something that like a weekend course can do. It's a journey because we are so
I thought they
conditioned
could just come
to
see
live
you and
according
get a.
to outer examples. Huh?
I thought they could just come see you and get a consultation, and you give them a shortcut, and you just say a couple words over their head. You know, you're from Africa, so you're supposed to be able to just say some words and wave your hand, and then they give them a shortcut, and then they don't have to do all that work. You don't do that.
Like a spiritual Panadol, right? Like a spiritual Panadol, like a headache medicine, a spiritual, just take the pill and that's it. Spiritual Panadol. Take, I mean, just take one pill. That's it. All the pain is gone. Wow, that would be amazing, man. You know, I'm here to speak truth as much as I can. And I have to be honest with people. I mean, I know you're joking, of course, we're playing here. Is it takes work. One has to commit to it, to say, I am here to do, there's a reason why I came to Earth. And our universe is so intelligent, it will never send anyone to Earth without bringing them what they need to fulfill their mission. This is the cosmic truth. If you are here on Earth, I guarantee you, whatever talents you needed to accomplish your mission, you were born with it. I guarantee it. Whether we know it or not, that's a different story. But our body type, our personality, I mean, what we like, what we're drawn to, those are some of the clues. What moves us, that's the soul speaking. So these are some of the things I would like to tell people who are interested in this topic. Like, that's what I'm saying, to dig in and see what moves you, what lights you up, what energizes you. Then as one begins to go on that path, following that, then the gift starts coming naturally. They'll start coming up because we are born with it. We're born with it. It's
Wow.
just, it is so close to us, many people miss it. It is so close, it is so simple. What lights you up? What moves you? What makes you happy? What those feelings are the clues. People miss it all the time because they've been brainwashed by society to think it has to be hard and difficult. If it's not a job, it's not worth it. Like job, painful and boring. Not true. We're here to do what lights us up and make money and get paid for it. Be abundant. However, it's a process. I'm a work in progress. We all are work in progress. Like I said, it's a work in progress. One cannot say, okay, now I've done it all. There's always something new to discover. You know, it's a journey. And it doesn't have to be depressing, by the way. I mean, for people, it doesn't have to be, it's actually something that, in my view, is so blissful. Finding out our limiting beliefs, what holds us back, how we look at life, discovering that. I just found one. Wow. Whenever I find any limiting belief in my mind, I get very happy. I want to throw a party because now I've seen it. I cannot unsee it. People go, oh, I think like that. To me, I'm like, yes, I see. Wow, look at the limiting belief. Now I found it. Now I know it. I cannot unsee it. When you see something, that's the journey of mastery. You cannot unsee it anymore. You may forget it, but your soul has seen it now. And when the soul sees anything, it doesn't forget it until it heals it completely. So these are some of the things that I would like to share with. I mean, we can talk about how to make it happen because it really pains me when I see people doing what they hate to do and they're miserable. And it doesn't have to be like that. I'm like, why are we doing this to ourselves? And because we're spiritual, we think this is virtuous. There's not no virtue in pain and suffering. People think, oh, if it's not hard, it's not worth it. Are you kidding me? Where this is a blissful universe. It's a blissful universe. We're designed to be blissful. We are. Look at our body. Look at our faces, our teeth, our body. We're designed to love. I don't mean all day laughing. I don't mean all day being playful and laughing and giggling. I just meant to just embody this constant peace and joy. That's what I mean. Beyond any pain, beyond even the anger and the emotional turbulence. Underneath it is the reality of who we are. And that's always the case. It never goes away. So we can be established in that state while functioning in the world. It's not either or. Because if I'm content, if I'm feeling peace in my heart and my being, then I can really do things because it becomes an expression of who I am. I'm not looking for something, I'm expressing. That's how we're designed, to express. But we keep looking out there for it. It's not there. I am love, I express love. I am joy, I express joy. You don't look for joy out there so that you can express it. It's crazy, but we do it all the time. We got to find it. Where's the talent?
All the time.
We go to schools, we go to,
all the time we're looking outside. All the time. I say we're looking,
we do.
all the time looking outside for joy.
It's not there. It's a waste of time. It's not there. We can get entertainment, but that's not the same as joy. Entertainment is very, for a while, you laugh, you're happy, but the joy is not fulfilling. One feels depressed again. The show is over. You go to the rock concert, people go home after, but they get depressed, they start drinking again because that concert never gave them what they wanted. What everyone is looking for is this peace, but we are so distracted, we don't even know it. We're looking, this is what everyone is looking for. We all want it. The satisfaction, unconditional, that feeling. But you keep looking. So for me, what I'm sharing is, it's not just about the inner, it's also the outer, but the inner first. That's what Christ was talking about. Seek ye the kingdom of God. He's talking about find yourself, find it first. Then other things will be added. Then you can really live the life that you prefer. If you don't know yourself, how can you be yourself? Simple. So anyway, there are so many things I'm saying over here. And if you have more questions or clarifications or anything you want to share too, please feel free to let us know, because I know you also have a lot of wisdom come through you. So I want to hear what you got to say too, my brother. Thank you for listening.
Oh man, I appreciate you. Thank you for breaking it down to the very last compound, making it simple for our audience. You know, I really like teachers like you who I don't need to have a dictionary in front of me when I'm listening to you talk. You know, like, what did he say? What word was that he came out? You know, you make it very palatable. You know what I'm saying? It definitely sounds like you are sharing from your lived experience, and you are a projector. So as a projector, you are naturally the guide. I say the projectors are Santa Claus. You know, like Santa Claus brings you the gifts. You know, Santa Claus represents the truth, because you either been naughty or you've been nice. If you've been naughty, you don't get nothing. That's the truth. If you've been nice, then you get something. That's the truth. But a friend of mine right? over here.
Praise be for those who are present. Abundance, yes. Makes sense. I like what you're saying. Actually, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense.
But another friend of mine explained the projector as the police on the motorcycle. And most of the time you see the police on the motorcycle leading important people. The police on a motorcycle is normally, he's not chasing someone, he's leading important people. And he's like making a way and people are following him. You know what I'm saying? Like all year, people want to know, where
Wow.
is Santa Claus? Where is Santa Claus? Where is Santa
Wow.
Claus? And that police officer in the front, he's making sure as a guide that it's going the most direct route to get that royal family, those important people in the motorcade where they're going. And there's so many people because you're outnumbered. You know, as a projector, 70% of the world is a generator. And so you have all these people in their heads. I think, I this, I that, and being easily manipulated by the powers that be, which is, you know, that's just a regular thing. And I just like how you just be like, hey man, if you stand on truth, we will get to the place. Like standing on truth is the motor of the vehicle in this journey of self-discovery. I think it's real crazy because you said the journey of self-discovery, that is that's where I used to teach a course called self-mastery through self-discovery. Me and Jasmine, she's one of my sorcerer friends. She's in Los Angeles. We did 17 classes. And so she did the magic, I did the astrology, and we put it together. Like I'm steeped in magical practices myself, but my forte is the stars and the cosmos and alignment. When I'm aligned, I wouldn't go outside in the rain with no umbrella. I wouldn't go outside at the beach with a turtleneck on, right? And a lot of
Wow.
times we see people having inappropriate behavior for the type of weather that's available. And that's why I think this podcast is
Mm-hmm.
important because there's new energy coming. Why don't you change clothes and have a new life? Everybody's talking about I manifest, I
Mm-hmm.
manifest, I manifest. Manifesting what? Are you just putting on perfume? Or are you really, or do you know what you want? And hey, this is the funny part because my journal is right over there. And today I was like, I have so many things that I want to complete. I want this podcast. I'm working with Sasha. I am about to start a new community online and on WhatsApp. I want to travel and do more psychedelic work with people and do more post integration and pre integration. And I want to train more people. You know what I'm saying? I want to duplicate myself. I want to share the things that my teachers shared with me. And I was like, you know what you need to do? You need to make all these into wishes and be very clear on what my wish is. Because the universe is just a big
Mm-hmm.
genie. Life is images of the mind expressed. That's what David Kakanga said in Happy Pocket Full of Money. Life is images of the mind expressed. If somebody else is manipulating the images in your mind, then you're going to have a manipulated life. But if I write down what my wishes are very clearly, 2-bedroom house, 4-bedroom house, 2 motorcycles in the mountains, on the beach, traveling first class. If I make the images clear in my mind, my life will give me these things. I'm listening to a book now by Neville Goddard about feelings. And he talks about the conscious mind being the husband and the subconscious mind being the wife, and how the conscious mind impresses on the subconscious mind before you go to sleep is going to determine the type of day you're going to have the next day. Because the subconscious mind, the wife, a healthy wife wants to assist her husband. If her husband is on, if your
Wow.
conscious mind knows purpose, If the conscious mind knows its purpose, but doesn't know how, it doesn't matter. That's where the subconscious mind comes in and says, I got you, baby. I got the how. Where we going in this direction? Here you go. But if the conscious mind is full of fear, full of anxiety, full of doubt, then the wife is going to multiply that because she's an incubator. The subconscious mind is an incubator. Now, I don't have a
Wow.
PhD like yourself. So I'm going to just turn this piece over because this may be your area a little more than me. And if I'm getting off track a little bit, please reel me back in. But I'm going to just toss it over to you. And could you just speak on that a little bit about the conscious mind influencing the subconscious mind? But keep it, keep it real light for us. Don't get too deep for them. You know what I'm saying? About how images of the mind, life is images of the mind expressed. When we express what's on my mind, that's what my life is. So that's why I really love what you said about we must stand in truth and we must know what we want. And we also must be ready to roll our sleeves up and do the work.
Yeah. When I say the work, I'm thank you for your beautiful question. When I say work, though, in fact, I've been looking for a different word to use because that word work scares people. Like, work? They want to run away the other direction. I don't blame them. It's not really like work, like hard work. Basically, what it just means is to feel the feeling. That's what holds majority of humans back from success and being themselves overall. The fears, because many of the programming and the pain is feeling, and because we haven't felt them, they just stay there. But if they have felt, they flow away, they flow on, they just move on. And then what is left? Just space. We are space. We are space. Really, that's who we are. And when one is space, then what it means one's frequency is now congruent with the universal energy, because universe is also space. When we are when we are so heavy in the mind and thinking and the feelings are so heavy, it's like a room that's cluttered. Not much can happen with it. It's cluttered. But when it's spacious, so much more, there's more access to more energy, because then the infinite space comes through the space and one keeps expanding. So these are just simple basic things. So I'm gonna make it even simpler by saying this, like you see, the subconscious mind, I love the way what's his name again? Goodard, whatever his name is, said it. The wife
Never.
and the husband analogy. I love it. Yeah, okay, yeah, I love it. It actually makes a lot of sense to me because the feminine often is generally deeper. It's deeper usually because feelings are always deeper. It's just the way it is. That's why I tell people, my friends and people that I work with, like, feel the feelings is the faster path. If you can feel the feelings, everything becomes happens. But how to feel the feelings, that's what many people are afraid of. To feel the feeling, it can be very scary, the pain. But the subconscious mind is not just thoughts, it's mostly feeling. Subconscious is the feeling. So it makes sense that it's the wife, and the conscious mind is more the mind, the thinking. So if one wants to have a beautiful life, for the subconscious mind not to sabotage, the wife has to be happy. And the wife is subconscious. So if our feelings in the subconscious mind are negative, if we're full of complaints and anger and frustration, then how can we be surprised that the life is not working, doesn't work? Because the conscious mind, the husband wants to have a good life. Everyone does. Everyone that tells you they don't care about this or that, they're lying. Most of us humans want to have comfort. It's just logical. It makes sense. It doesn't mean one is not spiritual or this or that, all the nonsense we do that, oh, that's not spiritual. Everyone, even a yogi who renounces everything, maybe wants a tree to sit under, a tree to
Right.
meditate. That's still something. So we all have, what differs is what qualifies as pleasure or fun or fulfilling for each of us. But we all want some of that. So it's all natural. So the conscious mind wants all that stuff, but the wife is not happy. So we have to do the work to clean that subconscious mind so that the negative feelings can dissipate. It doesn't mean the whole thing is gone, but dissipate. And then when there's joy, when there's love in the feeling, then of course the mind also becomes very positive or higher frequency, because the mind always reflects the feeling. Our conscious mind reflects the subconscious or vice versa. It doesn't matter. They're the same. So when the subconscious is cleaner, even our thought starts changing. Even our thought starts becoming more optimistic. Suddenly you see people you don't think, oh, that freaking neighbor. You don't, doesn't cross. More than like you understand, my neighbor. Even the mind starts getting affected. When you have a goal in your conscious mind, what you want to achieve, if one is feeling happy inside, then that goal feels possible. But if one is depressed and one has a goal, the depression can prevent it, because there's no joy behind that desire. Make sense? I mean,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
these are
Yes.
all things
Yeah.
that I feel like are very simple and straightforward. That there has to be some happiness in that subconscious mind, some clarity, some love. Otherwise, whatever we produce will cause pain, because pain causes pain. Love causes joy. It's very simple. These are simple spiritual, uh, I wouldn't say principles because they're not principles, but it's how life works. And from my observation, my perception, I can't say, I can't prove it, I can't show you in a book. I didn't read this anywhere. It's just what has been realized is that, wow, this is how life is. Wow, this is what's going on here. Okay, I gotta get with this. I gotta get with this. I gotta remind my friends, tell my friends these things. Wow, I didn't know this. I wish I knew this before. Okay, I got to tell my friends as soon as possible. While we're doing this podcast, I have so much to tell my friends, my people. I want to share so that they can have a beautiful life that they like and not go through that drudgery of pain and hatred. And oh, I wish I knew this 10 years ago. But it's okay. No regrets. We get what we need when we need it. If you really need
Yes.
something, sure, you have it. Life will make sure for all of us. So that's how it is. Long answer?
Be ready for life to give it to you when you say you want it. That is some of the things, even the last 3 days since I got back from Thailand, some things that I normally would have responded differently with. I have even surprised myself with the way I am responding to life's challenges with the simple question: remember, you asked for this. It was like, remember, you asked for this. Who you gonna get mad at? Who you wanted to be a sovereign. You wanted to stand in your truth. You wanted to figure things out. So we're gonna test you. I want to talk about the test because I'm a generator and I'm a 3-5, and a lot of people, you know, we if we don't use the word work, we're gonna use the word workout or challenges or something. But that's just what makes the muscle strong, is from having some contractions. Do you want to be spiritually strong or spiritually weak? Do you want to be emotionally strong or emotionally weak? Do you want to be mentally strong or mentally weak? Well, on this planet, even as the lovely human beings that we are, I love when you say we're the most powerful entities in the universe because we have decided to incarnate into this flesh here right now into such a dangerous place, which is why the gods want to serve us. However,
Yes,
we have to be accountable. We have to be
yes,
accountable and sovereign for this thing that I asked for, and not be a punk and be like, wow, how do I drive this? You know what I'm saying? How do
exactly.
I drive this? you know? And so it's very important for me to say, let me notice and be aware of my own development without distracting myself. It's just like a CEO in a company. When you're running a business, you want to be the business owner. You don't want to be the business employee. As they say, you don't want to get stuck in the weeds all the time doing everything yourself. You want to find a way to duplicate yourself. Because what happens if you start telling all your friends and I start telling all my friends, hey, you tell the truth and it can work. Then next thing you know, we got 10 people telling the truth. Then 10 people going around their friends.
Wow.
Now you got 100 people telling their friends the truth. So now we got 112 people telling the truth. Uh-oh. Next thing you know, that went 1,000. That's 1,000 people saying it's really okay to tell the truth. And this is how we strengthen ourselves, strengthen our immune system, strengthen our respiratory system. That's the new life. How are you breathing? The new life is being aware that you are in control of how much adrenaline you pump or how much serotonin you pump. We don't need adrenaline all the time. We need more serotonin to fall back and be the real alchemist and to manifest the new life. We can get to the Kundalini rising later. Can we just get to that later? Can we just wait? Everybody thinks just because I just want to say this too, because some people always think it's such a big deal. I'm in a Kundalini yoga class. I'm gonna get the Kundalini to rise. Kundalini is regular life force. You don't have to go to a Kundalini yoga class to raise your Kundalini. You can just bounce up in the seat 10 times. If you want to like bounce up, you could get up every time you're having sex, that's Kundalini yoga. Every time you masturbating, that's Kundalini yoga. Every time you drinking a glass of water, that's Kundalini yoga. Every time you bending over and sweeping the floor, that's Kundalini yoga. So we can. That's why I'm just so happy of. I'm really sick and tired of that particular community abusing humans by not being truthful, by saying, "Oh, what I'm doing is so advanced, and you need to try to be like me." I'm going to be rich by telling people the truth and showing them a simple way to do it. I'm gonna let all these advanced people, I'm gonna let them bump into their own heads, and I'm gonna just walk my modest way and just do it. Just do it step by step. Yes. I also wanted to acknowledge some people in the audience. Get Dinero, Lord said, you have to be present in the actions you take. People have so much trauma in their past, they sit it in their present actions. Have you noticed in the clients that you've served or the environments that you've been around, how trauma in a person's past affects their ability to walk in the truth and manifest a new life?
That's the question. Okay. Well, yeah, again, to manifest a new life means, the way I see it, is to live according to one's dharma, to one's truth, one's nature. Because people want abundance, right? People want to be abundant. They want to live a life that they enjoy. But how can one live a life that's abundant, that one enjoys, if one is not being oneself? It's so simple, but yet we overlook it. Okay, for example, let's say one is meant to be like maybe a doctor, a, a healer. He just loves taking care of people. And then that person becomes a banker and they have to stay in their office. They're going to be miserable. Well, someone else who likes to be in an office, that desk is heaven for them. The same job, they're in heaven, nirvana. So we often, humans, we focus too much on what we do, our job, our careers, but we don't focus on who we are. It's not really about what we do. That's I mean, that's important, but not as much, is who's doing it. When we are doing what we do, what part of us is doing it? Is it our heart, our being, our soul? And talking about Kundalini, I mean, I'll just say a little bit about the Kundalini thing. Kundalini is just energy. And I'm actually, we're probably inferring, it's already awake. Every child, the Kundalini is fucking awake. It is the parents that mess it up. So, I mean, jogging can do it, or I mean, or making love, or even masturbating. I've never tried that, but I'm sure it can. I'm sure it can. If one, I mean, has a way of, so there's so many ways of doing this in terms of just raising the energy up. And they want us to go beyond that because it's not the goal. The goal is the being, and that being transcends all kinds of Kundalini. There's no Kundalini in it. It doesn't need Kundalini because it's everything. And that's who we are. So in terms of fulfilling one's dharma in life and in terms of manifesting, I would say one has to go in first. That's what I do with people, clients and friends. They're going to go in first because almost everyone looks out there. That's the mistake. They keep looking at their parents, they ask their friends, they ask their pastor, they ask everyone but themselves. I'm saying, ask you, what do I want? What makes me happy? Don't tell anyone for a month or a year. Keep it to you if you have to. But really marinate in it and this is what I'm going to do. Then when you open your mouth to tell people, make sure that you're ready to withstand their slanders because they're going to get jealous. They're going to hate you. That's how humans are. What we don't want to do or we feel that we're not going to do, when other people do it, we get angry. But we're not willing to face it. You know, I mean, with the PhD that I was doing that time, the PhD, I was going to do my dissertation on the map of consciousness. And the professor, I'm a great being, I'm a great man, I really like him a lot. You know what he told me? He said, I tried to do that before I couldn't do it. Why do you want to do it? I was like, what? I was shocked. What do you mean? He said, well, he couldn't do it, so I shouldn't do it. I'm like, I'm going to do it, whether you like it or not. In fact, more so now. Because now I see that you try to stop me because you couldn't do it. So that's life for you. So when you say your goals to people, be careful because many people, they're going to try to down it because they don't have the courage to follow it. They want the same thing. But as opposed to being honest and humble and confessing that, you know what, dude, go do it. I would love to do that, but I don't have the courage. Wow. Can you imagine? I mean, humans like this, saying this, being honest like this. I don't have the courage, but you go do it. It's fine. And I wish you, if you make some money, you do well, don't forget me. Can you imagine people talking like that? That's real. But what do we do instead? We make fun of people. We discourage them. We act as if it's a dumb idea. It's stupid. It's not going to work. They're wasting their time. You know, it's like, it's so sad because we don't realize that when we encourage each other, we're encouraging ourselves because there's only one in the universe. So when I encourage you, when I inspire you, I'm also encouraging and inspiring myself. That's how it works. So when I wish you well, I wish myself well too. These are simple laws of the universe. When I wish for you, I wish for myself, but there's only one. So either way, you don't even have to be spiritual, from what I can see. I tell people, they don't need to be spiritual. They can just be rational. Even to be it makes sense to the rational mind, even if you're not spiritual, that if I wish people well and I encourage other people and I can assist them, more than likely they're gonna assist me too. It's common sense. More than likely. But if I put them down and I discourage them, what do you think that they're gonna do to me or to you? The same thing. That's how we humans are. Most humans are like this. And then we ask that we don't get something from people and we wonder why we don't get it. We're not giving it. Give what you want. It's simple. If you want love, be loving to people, right? Be loving. Some are going to slap you anyway, but just move on. That means that person doesn't want it. Next. Just keep giving
Ooh.
love. You're gonna find it
Ooh.
it's so simple. You're gonna start getting love. It's gonna be running towards you. You're gonna be drowning in it because you're radiating it. You're expressing it. People would just start. It's so natural. People say they don't feel loved, but when I look at them, they're not very loving either. It's so simple. Isn't it? I mean, do you see what I'm saying? I mean, huh?
100%. I'm just trying to see how many friends you have, because the way you talking, you don't sound like the regular person. So, when you get in the room talking like this, I know sometimes you probably be running people out the room. They can't stand the heat. They got to get out the kitchen.
What do you mean? Say more.
It's just like when people say, if you can't stand the heat, in America, they have a phrase like, if you're telling the truth, you're spitting fire. That truth is coming out your mouth is so hot, and people is like, ooh, that's hot. And they're saying, well, if you can't stand the heat, you're gonna have to get out the kitchen, because in the kitchen is normally hot. So you can't come in the kitchen and be like, man,
I got
you
it.
turn the air conditioner on. It's a kitchen. A kitchen gets hot. It's got an oven in here. Gas in here. The kitchen is the truth. The kitchen is the truth. So how can you get up and ask somebody to turn it down? You get out the kitchen. We cooking. So I just say, when you talking like, I know you making people get out your kitchen. They either gonna sit down and eat, or they're gonna have to get out the kitchen because it's too hot.
It's funny that you say that, because Sasha often says, Oluwa is on fire whenever I'm talking. Man, Oluwa is on fire. And what are you talking about? Oluwa is on fire. So that's what I'm hearing you say too, that it's coming out hard. And for me, I feel like it's the way of course, it's natural for me to speak. I also feel like is what works, because most of us humans are so asleep. If one is talking to me like a professor, people just fall asleep more. And I'm not here to make people sleep. I'm here to shake them up, because I keep shaking myself up. I want to shake them up. So I spit fire sometimes a lot, because it's like I gotta disturb these people. I have to disturb them. Otherwise, if I don't disturb people, they're not gonna wait. I mean, they're gonna just keep sleeping. But that's what happened to us humans. We've been too many lullabies. We are drowning in our sleepiness. We don't pay attention.
Wow.
We're sleeping. So when I see teachers who speak like this, very soft, I love it. I recommend it. I think it's beautiful. But I look around, many of the people that follow them, they're sleeping. It's too soft. It's too sweet. They're drowning in that sweetness. But when you hit them hard, I make enemies, but fine. I've made a lot of enemies in the past 2 years, especially people talking shit. They want to kill me, whatever. I don't care, because it's time for all of us, not just me, to speak, all of us, so that we can know where we stand as humans. We all bullshit each other all day long. Where do we stand? What is the truth? Well, it takes courage. It takes courage and commitment to be able to live accordingly to this. Not to be perfect, but to say, you know what? I'm going to speak what I see and how I see things. And if I make enemies in the process, it is what it is. But the people around me, I know they are my friends, because they know who I am and they're still here.
So how do you work
It
on
makes it
your
easy.
fearlessness?
Huh?
How did you develop your fearlessness? How did you develop your fearlessness? Did you grow up fearless, or is this something that you had to develop?
I was such a scared motherfucker. I was a scared crow, man. I mean, okay, that's not really true. I like to joke a lot. My father was like Zeus. My father, even grown men used to shake when they would come into the room. People would be shaking. Grown men, their knees would be buckling. My dad, power. We would speak like thunder. So I was scared of him, because he was very intense man. Like like whoa. I mean, not tall, but energetically powerful. So I'm very grateful to the universe that I was blessed with a father like that. I'm very grateful because from a young age, it taught me to stand up for myself. I had to. I had no choice. Otherwise, I would have been destroyed. So I had to learn to speak out. And even though I'm scared, people think they have to get rid of the fear to be courageous. No, you can be scared as fuck and be courageous. It's not either or. I was scared, but I did what I had to do anyway. So people think that they have to heal their fears first or to be completely fearless before they do. No, you just have to act like that. And it becomes natural, second state. You start being, like on the state you are in. But it takes practice, a bit of practice. But above all, more than practice, in my view, is presence. When we're present, we're fearless. One of the qualities of presence is fearlessness. It doesn't mean one has no fear. This is why this is a very tricky thing to talk about. People start thinking that maybe you walk around and a truck is coming and you just stand in front, I have no fear. That person will be dead. They'll be fearlessly dead. So I don't, I'm not talking about, so I'm not talking about foolishness or being silly or, if a tiger is coming and say, oh, you're enlightened, the tiger will eat an enlightened flesh. You enlighten out of body. So I'm not talking about, people often misunderstand this truth. And the reason why people misunderstand things is they try to understand with their mind. What I'm saying is beyond that. What I'm speaking for is beyond. I'm trying to tell people is whatever I'm saying, just be open. Just be open to it. Be open. If one is open, one begins to feel the truth in those words. Because the same being is the one that's speaking. You are the one speaking, not just me. The whole is speaking through us all. We are all one. So if there's truth in what I'm saying, truth is real. If it's not true, it's not true. If it's true, it's true. I don't need to keep talking about it. I don't need to make anyone believe it. But if it's true, it's true. Everyone finds out. So that's why I don't worry about it. I just speak. And people often tell me later that, oh, you were right. Well, I wasn't trying to be right. I'm just speaking what I see as it is and doing my best, as imperfectly perfect as we all do it. So these are the things that presence, in my view, is so people want to manifest, they want this, they want love, they want this, they want happiness, they want abundance, they want money, they want all this. However, I always say, without presence, everything is empty and meaningless. But people don't believe it until sometimes it's late for them. They're old. They think it's because they don't have enough money, or they haven't had enough this, or enough that, enough this. I'm like, no, don't waste your time. Nothing is that fulfilling in life. You have to come to the moment. Whatever you're looking for is already here. Tap into it right now. It's already here. And then from that state, you can do whatever you want. You can have money, abundance, travel the world, make, or whatever the fuck you just, it doesn't matter anymore because you've done what you came to earth to do. This is the main purpose we came to earth to do, to remember who we are. And then from that remembrance, to express it. It's so simple, isn't it? It's very simple. It's a simple things, but again, the mind likes complex ideas. But anyway, I wanted to say something real quick before we go. You were saying earlier that the way I speak is very easy to understand. To me, that is a compliment. A compliment.
To look at this gate.
I was doing the PhD. Huh? Hello?
No, I'm saying go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. When I was doing the PhD, one of my professors, she complained. She said, I write is too simple, that I need to write more like this and that, like a professional scholar. And I told her, I said, I'm in the PhD program. Yes, I want to get, I would like to do it, but also to write books and teach in a way that even my grandmother can understand me. And if the PhD would take that away from me, then I'm not into it, I have no interest in it. That's what I told her. Because what's the point? To impress who? All those intellectuals, their professors, their books are rotting away in the libraries, collecting dust. Nobody reads them. No one cares. Who cares? They have, 10 PhDs, but who cares? What have they contributed to humanity? What is the contribution? Just ego? I wrote, come on, get into the people, get into the people. If it doesn't make a difference to them, then that book is silly. What's the point? So this is, for me, for all of us to be like, let's write, let's speak. I like the way you speak too. To speak in a way that people don't have to be PhDs so educated to understand. It doesn't have to be big words. Who cares? So what? So thank you for saying that to me. I really liked hearing that, just to be honest. I like hearing it because I do my best to speak like that, but I'm not always sure if I speak like that. It has to be simple. Don't complicate it. As much as possible, simplify. That's what simplify it. It's so simple, but who knows? Maybe some people wouldn't agree. That's it for today. I can't hear you.
Can you see who's at the bottom of the screen? The kitchen is on fire. Karime and Sasha love you both.
So they watch. Okay, yeah. Well, there's no other way that I know of. There has to be some fire and some love there too. It has to be balanced. I do my best to balance it out, but the fire cannot be denied. Yeah, Raven, Sasha, but
Yes.
I feel like I'm doing with my, it's like some of my awesome friends, you, Karim, and Sasha, my friends. So this is fun. And if you have anything you want to say, I really want to hear from you too, by the way, my brother. I'm enjoying this conversation so much. Anything you want to say or share real quick, or
Yeah, I'm not gonna keep you long. I'm just gonna say, if for those who have been listening so far, just if you could, just in the comment section, what has been your biggest takeaway so far? On harnessing this dragon energy. One thing around this dragon energy that I want to, bring it back around to is, in life, this the cells remind us of cycles, because cells are regenerated every 72 hours. Every 72 hours, the cells have to regenerate, right? And so,
wow.
just like the moon has to regenerate every 28 days, the sun for your birthday is going through another cycle every 365 days. And it just shows the microcosmic and the macrocosmic, are just reflections of each other, as above, so below. And the energy now that we are currently in is the dragon energy right here that I have. And with the Yi Ming Zhu right there, right here. And it's about life force. The dragon is the most potent, it has the most life force. And the dragon doesn't bite his tongue. So when you are watching us encourage you to transform, manifest a new life, we want you to be unashamed opportunists. Stand in your truth, spit your fire, and be around people who are of similar cloth, right? But as they say, I'm gonna judge you by the 5 people that you hang around with the most. Well, then I'm gonna be so successful and so sexy and so knowledgeable and so wise, because I'm hanging around people who have attributes that I am still attaining to. But all of it's happening under the umbrella of dragon energy. So
Yes.
the way that you embody an energy is you must be confident that you can. You must allow yourself to have this energy enter you so you can be you. As you said earlier, you said remembering who we are is the main purpose of coming to earth. The dragon is here. Dragon energy is waking you up from your amnesia. One of my old teachers, he used to call it the spell of Kingu, the spell of Leviathan. You know, that's an entirely another show. But if we can wake up from amnesia and just say, I am me, I am the most unique, dynamic energy in this known and unknown universe, and I'm going to allow the dragon to assist me. That's the basic premise of manifesting this new life. Not saying, oh, I'm much more spiritual than you, because spirituality by itself is not always the answer. Honesty to myself and others at all times. That's virtue number one. Honesty to myself and others at all times. That's it. I got a tattoo on my back that stands basically off of these four virtues. So, and also the more honest you are and the more truthful you are, the more you will repel liars. You ain't gonna get nowhere with liars around. You want to have
They won't be
some
able to
type of, I'm
handle
a
it.
martial. Yeah, I want you to repel. I want you to repel. Both of us want you to repel liars. We don't want you to even be around them. We want
The
your truth to
frequency.
make liars sick. Yes. What they say? Uh it says the self they buried as lies is being revealed. Yeah.
Yes.
They
Who's
buried
that?
us with lies. It's just saying that we were buried with lies. Christopher Columbus discovered America. Santa Claus brings presents. The Tooth Fairy. Religions. You know, if you don't do good, you're going to hell. You know, God is going to be angry with you. You think God got time to be angry with you? God got a whole universe out here to like be out here managing. He don't have time to be carrying no grudge with you, right? But these lies have burdened us for so long. And so I just want to invite as many people to watch over and over and over again and join us as we grow into this podcast. So we're going to be doing some more podcasts, hopefully weekly. My brother Oluwa, this is his first time rocking with me, you know what I'm saying, publicly. We've had other conversations privately, and we're going to keep growing our voices and messages so we can have more
Yes.
friends to hang around. I want to
Yes.
go to Perth and teach. I want to teach in Sydney. He wants to come to Bali and teach. Let's go to South Africa and teach. Let's go to Panama. I got to go to Panama and stay for a good month or two,
The whole world,
you
right?
know? So,
Maybe off planet too.
yeah. So, yeah. So if there's some, if there's some, if there's some folks around and you are looking and say, yo, we have a community and we want you all to come and do a weekend and speak there. We can. We are available to do virtual sanctuaries and virtual containers as well. Just reach out to either one of us, and we are going to just really look forward to helping you every way we can. Keep it simple and manifesting a new life. That's really what I'm all about. You've been lying, tell the truth. That's a new life, right? You've been greedy, be generous. That's a new life. So that's my message to the folks today,
You-
brother. What's the
Thank
closing
you, man. I
message?
mean, may I say something real quick before we get off? Can I say something
Oh, of
real
course,
quick
of
about the dragon
course.
energy, real quick? Yeah, because many people, I mean, the quote unquote, because I keep saying quote unquote spiritual, because who's not spiritual? We're all spirits. Who's not? Everything is spiritual. So that term is so overused. But okay, let's use that term because it's a kind of When I use that word, people know what I'm talking about. So is the dragon energy as if it's bad, it's horrible, one needs to stay away, and it is over there. Those dragons, those reptiles, this and that. And what I say is, we all have that dragon. Everyone has, in varying degrees. Some people have it more than others, but everybody has it. So as long as one is looking out there for that dragon energy, one has to find it within. It's already in you. Just find it and embody it. That, in my view, is the quickest and fastest way. So as I was saying, you can reach out to us. We can. I'm going to have some events coming up. We're going to let you know coming up. I'll let you guys know, because this energy in this time and age, especially in this time, is very essential for humanity, to people to stand up and be powerful, because that energy represents power. And we've been lied to that power is horrible, it's not spiritual. Who says? Yes, power, if one only has power and there's no love or truth, then that power is very dangerous. But if there's love, truth, and everything, and power is also there, it completes the equation. So this is one of the things I wanted to share about the dragon energy. One has to find it within and express it, because it's a sense of empowerment, which is very essential to lead the life and live a new life and manifest the life you want. You have to be empowered. Otherwise, you won't believe it that it's possible. And without believing that it's possible, how can it happen? So this empowerment is so important in terms of living a life. So I wanted to just, add that if it makes, perhaps it can assist some people to get more clarity about it, or be able to understand what it is. So I wanted to just share that. Maybe maybe it's not relevant, but I really wanted to say that because I feel like it might assist some people to get more clarity about the energy and stop repressing that energy within themselves. We repress it because we think it's bad. No, it's not bad. It has to be embraced and embodied along with the other qualities, love and truth, oneness.
And it's not for the weak at heart. Okay, you will get stronger when you want to embody that dragon. The dragon is not going to come in and let you just be like, oh, I'm kind of passive. I'm just gonna no. That throat is gonna open up. That roar is gonna come out. You know, the claws is gonna extend. You know, the tail is gonna be moving around, and it's very unpredictable. The life of a dragon is very unpredictable. I attest for that 100%. The life of a dragon is so unpredictable. My goodness gracious. So I just want to
I can see that in you, man. You definitely have that. You have that as part of your energy, and I love it. So thank you for bringing that to the situation. You got, that natural dragon energy. It's like you're born with it. You must have been born with it, I feel. It feels very natural and real and authentic. Huh?
Thank you for saying that. I received that and accepted. I'm not sure because I've always been a little on the edge and risky and wild, but I think I have to give a shout out to some of the dragon teachers that I have had the pleasure to be around. You know, when somebody sees something, in me like that, a quality, I have to be like, it's because I have sat at the feet of some very great teachers, and I'm still striving to be even this close to what they are. So I have in my opinion, I have a long way to go. I've came a long way too, but we're not gonna pull over and stop right now, which is why we even doing this podcast. I want to share what the other dragons gave to me, and in order to do that, you're right. I have to embody that dragon energy to carry it forward. So, wouldn't you like to be a
Yeah,
dragon too?
you already have it. Yeah, I just feel like those teachers, more than likely, what they did was they help you to nurture your already existing inner dragon. If you didn't have it, it wouldn't have come from somewhere, right? So I feel like, what they did was assist you, or maybe still assisting you to bring it out. It was already there. That's what I meant. Because you already have it. I really feel this deep in my being. Like I can't explain it, but I just feel it deeply. That whatever we are expressing in this life, whatever potential, we're born with it. Otherwise, it can be taken away. But if one is born with it, that means it was already there. We just have to access it, grow it, develop it, but everything needs to be grown and developed and then expressed, which is what I feel like is happening for you, in my view. So does that, I mean, is that true for you? That's just my sense of it, but does that feel true?
100%. And I saw in your bio that you also study Enneagram. So I'm an Enneagram 3 as well. So you can throw that in there.
Oh, no wonder. That makes complete sense, actually. 3, 4 wing, right? Obviously, must be like 4 wing, I'm pretty sure, right?
I don't know.
That makes sense. That
I'm
makes
just
complete sense.
Enneagram. Now I have to turn it over to your expertise. I don't know about all the other parts after that. I just know the basics, and I'm a 3 Enneagram.
Okay.
And it can be
Okay, yeah.
hard.
I mean, that actually makes sense. I mean, you did do the test, right?
Yes,
What
I've
you
done
said?
tests. Yes, I have done tests, and I have done tests, but one of my teachers, and I agree with him, he believed that the Enneagram tests are subjective because you could take it now
Yes.
and then 2 weeks later you may change the answers. So he uses your life path number
That's
as your
true.
Enneagram, and I have been sampling that for a little over a year, and it has been pretty spot on. Like a lot of people be like, "No, I'm an 8." I'll be like,
Really.
"No, dog, you a 3. No, you want to be you might want to be an 8, but an 8 is quieter than that. A 3 gets a lot of attention. A 3 is going to get a lot of attention. It wants a lot of
Yeah.
attention. Whereas an
Charismatic,
8
super charismatic.
too charismatic at times. I guess maybe the next show we talk
Threes and
about any.
sevens are, I think they're probably, what you said?
No, what were you about to say about 3s and 7s? What were you about to say?
Well, they're two of the most charismatic of the whole Enneagrams because they both embody that charisma naturally without even trying. That's why some of the biggest stars celebrities in Hollywood are threes. Many of the biggest ones are threes. Even in Washington, a lot of threes in politics and seven. But they have that natural aura that people want to see them. And if one doesn't have that charisma, people don't want to watch that movie. Who wants to go watch a boring person on screen? So, but boring, lifeless, unless it's Africa where they can steal the position. But in the in the in these countries, so anyway, so threes are, but in a very different way. Threes charisma is different. It's more like a feminine power in a way, like a dragon, but feminine dragon, like a more
Mm,
feminine kind of dragon. Yeah, that's how I see it. Powerful, but in a feminine way. When I say feminine, I mean in a very emotionally intelligent way. That's what I call threes. They're very emotionally intelligent. That's
mm,
why they become successful too. They can read the energy in the room. When they have they can see people and be like, okay, they go to a party. They can see who is in charge, who they need to befriend, because they have a natural talent for it. So of course they're very successful, very charming. Sevens, on the other hand,
it,
adventure. They are the most restless in the Enneagram. Seven. They're the most restless. They're all over the place. Fun, partying, drugs, but they are also very intelligent. I don't know whether to call them intelligent. They're very well spoken. They are communicators, sevens. They're very communicative. They know how to talk. That's why many of them have become priests. They become the priest class often in ancient times. The priests, the pastors, often they can talk and sell you anything. They're very smooth talker. Sevens. So
wow.
anyway, threes too, by the way, but they have some subtle differences too. Again, all the types have difference, but they're also similar. Anyway, I could talk about this another video, otherwise it'd be too long, 3-hour video, because I love the Enneagram. Honestly, I have a book coming out next month, or yeah, it should be out by next month, and I created a system of psychological typing. However, I have to be honest, I borrowed heavily from the Enneagram and other systems too. Well, Enneagram a lot. I love Enneagram. Why? Because part of this why I love the Enneagram, in my view, is because one can begin to see one's personality for what it is. It's a machine. And the Enneagram emphasizes that. It's a machine. You can see, oh, when people do this, I do this because I have a 3 mind or a 4 mind, because they describe the different kinds of minds. That's what they're about. And each type has its way of relating with life. If one can see, then one can almost predict oneself, almost. And then one begins to then one begins to realize that if this thing is so predictable, this is not me. So it's a very spiritual path. Because if something is predictable, that means it was put together. It's not organic. If something is organic, you don't have to learn it because it's who one is. So one begins to go inward and realize, oh, I'm the self. And these personality types are just aspects of me that I express. And then that's it. No more problems. No more problems.
This is one of my favorite books on the Enneagrams.
Oh.
So for those of you who are listening and you've never heard of the Enneagrams, I always suggest people to start off with this one. If you have been studying Enneagrams before, then and you don't have this one in your arsenal, I would highly suggest adding this one to your arsenal as well. But this is
those two guys are some of the best teachers. They're very good. I love the teachers. Two of the best teachers, I think, of the Enneagram, these two guys. Yes, I agree. They're they know what they're talking about.
So you know this book right here.
I don't know this particular book. I have a different book, but the same author. And I heard that, I mean, I'm reading that book, I could tell that these guys know what they're talking about. They're awake beings, and the way they speak, I can feel it.
Your microphone's going out. Something happened to your volume. Your microphone's going out.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay. Maybe it's a good time to actually pause for today. Maybe anyway, because my phone, I think I didn't know we were going to talk this long today. So my phone is acting up. It's the battery. It's about, we have 1% left. so I need to plug the phone in anyway. But I feel like this is probably good for today anyway. What do you feel? I think this is good for today.
Yes. Someone asked, what's the best place to find your number? There's several different ways. You could just type in free Enneagram test and you could find it, or you could just add up your birthday. So add up your day and year. Some people are going to argue and be like, no, you must take a test. It's okay. Do both. Do both. Take the test and see what you get. And then also add up the number and see what you get. And then go look both of them up. Do your research. And then put it in Chat GPT and see what Chat GPT tells you. But check it out. We're going to see y'all next week. Thank y'all so much for joining us. You are your ancestors' wildest dreams. Oluwa, I love you, brother. Thank you for having this idea,
brother,
and other great ideas. And we just gonna holler at y'all. Peace.